is good? It's your boy Ty back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking all of our best dark matters that are not invincibles, are not endgames in NBA 2K23 MyTEAM. Now, I do got to say these cards have gotten better and better, right? We've gotten Verajao, we've gotten Mirasan, and obviously it just, it continues to grow, right? And that's obviously, I think for me, it's a good thing for guys like Mirasan to come out because, yes, is he still decently expensive? Yes, it's not like he is 5K like I initially thought he would be, but the gap between like the invincibles and endgames and some of these cards are so small. We also have guys like Radiant T-Mac, guys like tjayerrday, and even like a Yao on this list. So don't think just because there's no endgames, there's no invincibles, this list is not good. It is still some of the best overall cards in my team. And we're going to start off here with Poku. And as we do that, guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure to smash that subscribe button on the road towards 120,000 subscribers. I feel like he has that skinny player model, which I don't want to say kills a card, but does hurt his value a little bit. Again, from top to bottom, Poku is fine. He is solid. I just think there are overall better options. He is 7 feet tall. He's got a decently quick release. And even compared to, I'm just going to throw this guy out there right now. Even when I compare him to a guy like Enfuego, Jonathan Isaac, Poku's overall the better card. But in my opinion, it's not by enough to put him any higher. Jonathan Isaac up next. Jonathan Isaac just got a new invincible. And his invincible can play shooting guard as a newer release. This Enfuego, Jonathan Isaac has a straight up and down release. It's easy to time, easy to green. But does that mean that Jonathan Isaac is incredible? Doesn't mean he's unstoppable. No, he's just fine in my team. I think C tier is the right spot. He's a 3-and-D option. Again, 6'11", decent frame. But in this era of my team, is 6'11" really what you're wanting? Not really. It's fine, just not great in my team. Amen Thompson up next. I really like Amen Thompson. I just don't know where he ranks as far as a dark matter tier list. Now, if this tier list was just for budget cards, Amen Thompson might even be higher. But the problem is he better than like a Hero Jokic, Hero Ben Simmons? I don't know. We'll get there when it comes to it. For now, I'm putting Amen Thompson in B tier, but I do like the card. Anderson Verajao up next. I think B tier as well. Why is he only B tier, not higher? Well, just comes down to would I prefer Verajao or a guy like KP? We'll talk about it when I get to KP. It's just he needs to be taller. It's that simple. It's that easy. He's not bad. Just wish he was that little bit taller. AK-47, you guys might hate me. I like him. A tier for AK-47. Good frame, good height. I just think he's a card in my team that I don't want to say he's perfect, but he's kind of tough to beat, right? 3-and-D option that at 6'9" you can trust to go out there and compete. I prefer this AK compared to the invincible Andre Kirilenko. Anthony Black, I've gained a respect for him. After DBG absolutely cooked me while using Anthony Black, didn't cook me. I still beat him by a combined 80 points. But you guys get the point. Anthony Black was one of the main reasons he was even in that game. He made Anthony Black look like one of the best overall budget cards in my team. I can't hate on Anthony Black. I'm putting him at B tier. Good release, good player build. Overall, really solid. Artis Gilmore, Anderson Verajao. I think Gilmore is better. Again, I think height runs my team, and so when it comes down to it, you're looking at Artis Gilmore at 7'2", or you're looking at a guy like Anderson Verajao at 6'11". Now, what else outside of his height does Artis Gilmore do better than Anderson Verajao? Probably nothing. But the big thing here is defensively, the difference between 7'2" and 6'11" is massive. And so that's why I'm a firm believer that Artis Gilmore is better than Anderson Verajao. I know a lot of people might disagree with me on that, might not see eye to eye with me on that. But I am taking Artis Gilmore over Anderson Verajao. Asar Thompson up next. I think B tier is the right option. He can be your primary ball handler. He is really good. Has a smooth release that's not like super hard to green. It is straight up and down. I think B tier is the right option. Don't think he deserves any higher. I think AK is better. Ben Simmons, I think, is still a tier above Anthony Black and Amen Thompson. Now, I would say the Titans Ben is probably B tier, okay? So if you're wondering, okay, Ty, you don't have the Titans Ben on here, it's because I want to just talk about him instead. I do think because he's 6'11", he still is B tier, but the Hero Ben obviously is a great 3-ball, good height, good frame. His release is on the slower side of things. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat things, but again, height matters so much, and a guy like Hero Ben, I think, at the highest level is going to compete better than a guy like Anthony Black or Eamon Thompson. Bill Russell up next, not the biggest fan, C tier. Released is only on quick. I know he's 6'10", has a decent frame. He's very similar to Jonathan Isaac in my opinion. 3-and-D option, doesn't give you much else on the court. If you between those two guys, pick whoever you like more. I can't really sit up here and say, oh, one's definitively better than the other. They're both fine in my team. Bob, C tier as well. Has a quicker release than Isaac and Bill Russell. Not going to play as good of defense. Both belong at, they all belong at C tier in my opinion. Bobo up next, S tier. You guys might call me crazy, but Bobo is 7'2" with an incredible frame, right? Name a small forward that's not an endgame or an invincible that's better than Bobo. I don't know if you'll be able to. For now, he's going in S tier for me. Problem is, wherever Bobo is, Chet's got to be as well. Chet, S tier as well. Smooth release, I think Chet is not worth the lock-in. So if you don't have Chet locked in, don't think, oh, Ty put him at S tier. He's worth me locking in. No, he's one of the worst value cards in the entire game. But if you have Chet locked in and want to use the card, you can. S tier is where he belongs. D-Rob, B tier. I think he's on the Verjao level. You guys can disagree, but I mean, he's 7'1". Release not as smooth as Verjao, but it's fine. I just think that's where he belongs. Defensively, gonna hold it down better than a guy like Anderson Verjao. Dikembe Mutombo, B tier. Dikembe is very similar to Artis Gilmore. I do think Artis might slightly be better, but they're both 7'2", both very similar on the court. Neither one of them, Artis I think has a better 3-ball. Dikembe's release might be smoother. Do think they are both A tier. Domantas Sabonis, I don't love him, and I know his release is not great, but the one part about Sabonis you can't sugarcoat is he's 7'1". So even when comparing Sabonis to a guy like Dikembe, I'm gonna move Dikembe down. I think we've got to do this, and I think I got to do this. I like Artis more than him. I think I got to do this. We'll have to see. I might have to move some players down, because when we're talking about like the bad players on this tier list, there's not many. Josh Smith, I don't love him. Some people can get down with that release. I don't love it. So I'm gonna have to just move some people down. It's the way it's got to be. When I make a list like this, it's not going to be perfect, but I've got to do some things, and so this is where I'm going to have things as it stands right now. Again, things are probably going to move around, but for now, I got to make it a little more equal. This is where I've got things right now. Doug Christie is B tier. I think, it's tough to talk about Doug Christie because some people might like him more than Ben Simmons, but I do think when you're comparing him to Anthony Black, when you're comparing him to Eamon Thompson, that's kind of the level he's on. I do like the LaMelo base with the Oscar upper. I will be the first to tell you that, but he's only 6'6", leaves a little bit to be desired as far as other things, but he is fine in my team. Earl Lloyd, not great, D tier. He's fine for a free card, but again, we're ranking the best dark matters in my team, and when it comes down to that, Earl's just mediocre in my team. Mirasan, maybe the best player on this tier list. And honestly, I'm going to do something right now you guys might not like. But when we're talking about S tier, Mirasan can't be on the same tier as Chet or Bobo. He can't. So if I only have to have one player at S tier, I'm okay with it because Chet, Bobo, they belong more on that Ben Simmons type of level. Mirasan is in A tier of his own right now. Giannis up next. The problem for Giannis is he's 7 feet, or the good thing about Giannis is he's 7 feet tall. He's going to dog a guy like this, Jonathan Isaac. I guess I'll put him at C tier. I know a lot of people are going to say, but Ty, his release. I know his release is baited. I know it's bad. But still, his player model, his defense does put him above Jonathan Isaac. I know a lot of people probably won't like me saying that. But again, if you're to give me playoffs Giannis or Jonathan Isaac, playoffs Giannis is the better option. Grady D up next. I think he's the same tier as Asar Thompson. You guys can hate me if you want, but is he as good as that glorious AK? I personally don't think so. Now again, that's my opinion, but if you have fun with Grady in my team, again, as far as a budget card, he is really solid. But we're not talking about budget cards. We're talking about dark matters in which George Mirasan is on the same tier. It's just tough. Hakeem, I'm sorry, D tier. I prefer Radiant D-Rob to Hakeem. So if you like Hakeem, do what you got to do. But remember, it's just tough when I prefer D-Rob to him for me to put him any higher. Horace Grant, undersized, never great, C tier. He can move and groove, but that's about it. Sigma, D tier. I hate to say it to you, Jack Sigma. I don't mind you, but you're D tier. Worthy, I guess, this is tough. I guess D tier. He's only 6'9". I want to put him at C tier, but when it comes down to it, he's only 6'9". I like Worthy's release. He's chicken man in my team, but I'm sorry, if in Fuego Jonathan Isaac is D tier, Worthy, you're D tier as well. Jimmy Buckets, C tier. He's not as good as these guys. As far as budget point guards, Jimmy's fine. You can use him and have success with him, but he's not as good as Anthony Black, Amen Thompson, or Doug Christie. You guys don't gotta agree with me, but that's the way it is. Jonathan Bender, Ben Man up next. Ooh, is he A tier or his? I think he's better than all these guys. I really do. And you guys don't have to agree with me, but he is more talented than all these guys. 7 foot at the 2. Jonathan Bender is an absolute problem in my team, and he is a budget baller as well. So you get kind of the best of both worlds with Jonathan Bender. He is S tier in my opinion. Josh Giddey up next. I gotta be honest with you guys. I've not used a ton of Josh Giddey. I really haven't, so I don't really know. I'm guessing he's C or B tier. I mean, I don't really know. I'm going to throw him at C tier, but that could be completely wrong. If you have success with Josh Giddey, do what you got to do. I've never used the card. I'm going to throw Kareem. I'm going to do this. Dikembe, you're down. Kareem's at C tier. Look, I've been gassing some cards, and I'm tired of doing it. Dikembe, Kareem, you're both C tier. You're both just old, man. If you locked in these cards, are they still usable? Can you have some success with them? Yes, but they are old indeed. Karl Malone, the mailman, D tier. KG, he's not bad. KG, I'm going to throw a B tier. I know a lot of people might want me to put him higher. He's 6'11 at the 2. I get it. But is he really better than that glorious AK? Think about it. Because I don't know if he is. I think they are the same tier. AK is going to move better. KG is a better player both. I think they're both the same tier. 16-bit KP A tier. And you guys, again, don't have to agree with me. So if you think KP and let's say the Dikembe, or let's say the D-Rob, let's say the Kareem, if you like those guys over KP, do what you got to do. KP is 7'3", smooth and quick release. He can do no wrong in my opinion. I've used the card on my no money spent for the last couple of weeks. And he has definitely made things easier for me, made things better. He can compete with the Tacos. He can compete with the Yaos of the world. You guys might not think so, but trust me, the eye test shows me KP is still absolutely elite when it comes to the dark matter tier. Lauri Markkanen up next. I mean, C tier, I guess. He's 7 feet tall, so that has to stand for something. But when it comes down to it, I don't love Lauri Markkanen, and I just don't. And some people probably do. He was what? The unlimited reward last season, I do believe. He's fine, just not great. Luka Doncic is good, okay? And I think Luka Doncic is deserving of A tier. Again, if you like Anthony Black better, fine. If you like Amen Thompson better, fine. I just believe Luka is the overall better option. He's got KPJ. The Rudy Upper is kind of troll in my opinion. He's also got the NV slide. He's got a lot going for him. I do think A tier is where he belongs. Manute, even if it's the hero one, S tier, no questions asked. My opinion on it is, if you've got the hero Manute, there's really not that big of a reason to get the new Manute. Yes, he might be a little bit better, but Manute is good because he's 7'7", right? That's the main thing behind Manute being one of the best overall cards that we have ever seen in my team. Obviously, the new Manute is going to move better, but how much are you really going to dribble with Manute anyways? That's something you guys have to consider in my team. Mark Eaton up next, I guess B tier. He's 7'4". Do I like him as much as KP? No, I don't. I do think he's on the same level as like an Artis Gilmore. I just feel like Mark Eaton, his 3-ball isn't great. Obviously, the new invincible Mark Eaton is quite a bit better, but still fine, B tier. He can go out there and you can have some fun with him. Michael Finley up next. At this stage, B tier. I mean, he's fine. Michael Finley, if you got him, I still think is on that AK, KG type level. And if you want to use him like he's, a Tracy McGrady type card, Terry type card, you can. He's just not quite to that level, in my opinion. Again, all of these things are my opinions. I just don't think he quite is that next level good. Titans Yao, really good. Titans Yao, I do think is only A tier though. Hero Yao, I'm gonna go S tier. And you guys can be like, why, Ty? Well, Titans Yao, I think is closer to KP, whereas the Hero Yao, I think is closer to that Manute, Mirasan type level. Again, it's just a slight difference, but I do think it is enough to separate the tiers. Hero Jokic, I'm going S tier, okay? Out of position Jokic would be A tier, just so you guys know. Jokic is better and more complete than Ben Simmons. So that's kind of why the tiers are where they are. I like Jokic more than Ben Simmons. I think as far as a non-invincible, non-endgame, Jokic would be my best point guard in my team, which is why he is deserving of S tier. Regular Ralph Sampson, B tier. Not as good as Titans Yao, not as good as KP. Right on that level of a Mark Eaton type of card. Rick Smits, this one's interesting, and this is one that might split the community. Is he S tier or is he A tier? This is one I really struggle with because I like Rick Smits. I think the ceiling of Rick Smits is really high. I'm going to put him at S tier, but again, it's just because I'm comfortable with him. It's just because I like his release. And it's just because of what I've seen other people really do with Rick Smits. I'm not that great with Rick Smits, okay? I personally, took me a while to even get used and comfortable to his release. Like, I definitely struggle with it more than I should have. But when it comes down to it, people will debate Hero Yao and Rick Smits all day long. I personally, I don't know. I don't have a lean one way or another. Ron Artest up next. I don't mind Ron Artest. I do think he is on that level of a Jimmy Butler type card where, you know, he was good for his time. Is he still good? He's fine. He's just maybe a little outdated in my team. Rudy up next, right with Grady. Just a slower release. I wish his release was a little quicker for this age, for this era. C tier. Rudy Time J, D tier. I use you. I don't mind you, but you're just not great. Scotty B tier. Tall, lengthy, good defender. Not a bad release. I don't mind Scotty Barnes at all. Sean Livingston, B tier as well. Again, not quite to the Luka Ben Simmons level, but a really solid budget point guard in my team. That I feel like a lot of people like the Galaxy Opal Sean Livingston, but he was free. Not a lot of people are talking about the Dark Matter Sean. Steve Smith for this stage, C tier. People can argue higher, but at this stage, can't go any higher than C tier. Here's where things get interesting, okay? We've got Terry, we've got Tim Thomas, and we've got T-Mac. And for now, I'm going to drag them all into A tier, and then we'll break it down and talk about it. So, I've went back and forth all year long between these three. The one for me that has never really been in my equation is Terry D. Why? I never locked in Terry D. And even in the past, I've never really locked in the John Havlicek that was really overpowered in 21. I just don't really like small shooting guards. And not that Terry's that small. He's 6'7", he can hold it down. But when you compare him to Tim Thomas, who is 6'10", and T-Mac, who is 6'8", with a long wingspan, that's really the big difference. For me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Tim Thomas, I think, is my favorite. Okay? Tracy McGrady probably would be my second favorite here, and Terry D would be my third favorite. The deal here is, though, they're all A tier. I don't think I can move any up ahead of Jonathan Bender at this stage. I don't think any of them are even comparable to Michael Finley, KG, or AK. They are all A tier in my opinion. Next, Victor Wembanyama, A tier. At this stage, he's not as good as Hero Yao. Hey, it's just tough though, but why? My whole thing is, why? Why is he not as good as Hero Yao? Why is he not as good as Rick Smits? I think it's tough. Because I think side by side they are. The problem is everybody's got the Invincible or the Endgame Wemby. And so it just kind of ruins the whole next Wemby. I guess if you're still no money spending, probably is S tier. It bugs me because I just feel like nobody is running the next Wemby. And people who are, they probably should sell him because I feel like he's overpriced right now as well. Still think he does deserve S tier. Last but certainly not least, Vince Carter. I mean, at this stage, he's right here with Earl Lord. And that's not me saying Vince is bad because I like Vince. But when we're ranking the best of the best at the Dark Matter tier, I don't think Vince is as good as Steve Smith. I don't think he's as good as Rudy. That's just, again, my opinion. You like Vince, do what you gotta do. That is gonna wrap it up for our Dark Matter tier list today, guys. It's not an easy one to do, but hopefully you guys like it. Don't get mad if you're a big fan of Radiant T-Mac. Again, it's just me preferring Jonathan Bender. Let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.